Well, recently we've had a lot of news in the world of The Witcher, a book that's a prequel about Geralt, new updates about the remake of The Witcher 1, the return of Geralt for The Witcher 4, and the most controversial but also the most important, the trailer for The Witcher 4 itself. But we won't dive too deeply into these now, as we'll cover these topics throughout the video, and what to expect for the future of The Witcher in the gaming world. Today, I'll talk about the three major projects CD Projekt Red that are coming up in the Witcher universe, all of them in my opinion. This won't be an analyst's deep dive into every detail they revealed of the games. I'm simply going to speak as a big fan and share what I expect from these projects. And it is practically impossible to start this video with anything other than the bombshell that is The Witcher 4. So, Ciri is the main protagonist. What do I think about that? In short, I really like the decision to continue the franchise with Ciri. It was the obvious and correct choice. However, it's already been revealed that all three endings from The Witcher 3 will be canon, which in my opinion is one of the most important decisions they could have made. This choice can be easily justified. In any of the endings, it's possible for Ciri to eventually become a Witcher. In the ending where Ciri is presumably dead, there's a possibility that she escaped. This is suggested by the painting of a swallow flying away, which was added in the new gen update. It hints that she may have just disappeared for some time rather than truly dying. In the Empress ending, we can see that in the end of the Blood and Wine DLC, Ciri is visibly unhappy and disappointed with the world of politics, which makes it seem like she's ready to leave that life behind. Finally, in the ending where she becomes a Witcher, that's the most straightforward ending. I don't need to explain. The key point here is that all three endings can be canon. What matters is that the game ensures our past choices don't feel entirely useless. A brief prologue showing how Ciri became a Witcher would already suffice. But another equally important challenge is how to handle Ciri's immense power. CDPR has the perfect excuse for this. In this trailer, we see that Ciri has undergone the Trial of the Grasses, the excruciating process used to create Witchers. And this is just a theory, my mind flowing through ideas, but with the help of her Elder Blood, she may have survived the trial but lost her powers in the process. This would turn her into a Witcher trained by both Witchers and Sorceresses, because we can see in the trailer that she uses both signs and magic. This opens up the potential for an incredible gameplay. The game will clearly include a time skip, as we can see by the trailer. Ciri looks much older and looks like already an inexperienced Witcher, which brings many new exciting possibilities. What school will Ciri belong to? Could the theory that Ciri, with others' help, founded the School of the Lynx be true? We don't know, but we know for a fact that Ciri is already wearing the Lynx medallion. Digging deeper into the trailer, the village shown in the trailer is already revealed to be in the northern regions of the world, most likely here, though that's not confirmed. It's been stated that much of the game will take place in the north, and that the map will roughly be the same size as The Witcher 3's map. I think that's including Tucson. I sure hope so. This isn't a downside. On the contrary, a massive but more detailed and complete map is ideal. Bigger doesn't always mean better. I just want an immersive and compelling world, much like The Witcher 3, where even seemingly minor side quests ended up being some of the game's most memorable moments. As for the trailer itself, I liked it, but it seems to rely heavily on nostalgia. It takes crucial elements from trailers of Geralt's trilogy and incorporates them here. It's like it's trying to evoke something familiar. It didn't feel particularly original, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. However, it doesn't give me the strongest confidence either. That said, it's still a solid trailer with a very Witcher-like vibe. A dark atmosphere, rituals, monsters, and the realization that the true monsters are often the humans themselves. In this case, that's represented by the human sacrifice that was made in the trailer. But after that, we get this scene of Ciri clearly inspiring herself in Geralt.
There are no gods here. There are only monsters.
What are you doing?
Killing monsters.
And then the trailer cuts off, and we don't know what happens after. But what we do know is that Gwent will return, potentially as Gwent 2.0. That was already revealed by the game's director. Romances are also confirmed, which I think it's obvious since they're a core part of what makes this universe so special. CD Projekt Red clearly wants to create something as captivating as The Witcher 3 did, with both Yennefer and Triss. We can add Kira and Shani to the mix, but just Yennefer and Triss. Now, onto what we're all so eager to know, the return of the White Wolf. Yes, it's already been confirmed in the recent weeks that Geralt will return. I believe he will play a much larger role than most people expect. Many think his role will be minor like Vesemir's in The Witcher 3 or even smaller, but Geralt is still a very young Witcher. Geralt in The Witcher 3 story is in his 60s, like it was revealed in a new book. So that is very, very young, especially compared to Vesemir. So I highly doubt he'll spend the next few decades or centuries retired in Corvo Bianco with Yennefer. Speaking of Yennefer, the game will obviously have to address the major choices we made with Geralt. Who rules Skellige, who won the war, and who Geralt chose as his partner. That in my opinion has to be Yennefer. Come on, you can like Triss, but it's gotta be Yennefer. It's impossible for the game to ignore those choices. I'm very curious to see how these decisions will play out in The Witcher 4. Also, I really hope Geralt is the final boss of Gwent. I wouldn't beat him because I'd refuse, plain and simple. One thing I hope they don't do, and this would ruin the whole experience for me, it would make me turn off the game and uninstall it, is that Geralt receives the Joel treatment. I sincerely hope Geralt isn't used as a simple plot device for revenge. In my opinion, that would be the worst possible path that CDPR could take. As for release date, we don't know. But The Witcher 3 took about 3.5 years of pre-production and full production with a team less than half the size of the one working on The Witcher 4, which currently has 410 developers. If I had to guess, I'd say 2026 might be the year where we finally see The Witcher 4. Speaking of the development team expanding, the team working on Project Sirius has also grown. Project Sirius is the multiplayer The Witcher game and is the project we know the least and the one we're most in the dark about. That said, it's also the project I'm least interested in, and honestly I barely care about this. I don't mean to sound harsh, but I have zero hype and zero expectations for this game, which might even be good. It can surprise me. I guess we can probably say that this is the Witcher game that's farthest away from release, or it might be the earliest, we don't know. One thing confirmed by CD Projekt Red themselves is that it will feature multiplayer gameplay on top of a single player experience, including a campaign with quests and a story. That is to say, I really don't know what to expect from this game. It's left me completely confused for now, but what we do know is that almost 2 years ago the game underwent a total revamp due to dissatisfaction with the direction it was taking, so even more uncertainty added to the mix. Let's not forget that the game is being developed by the Molasses Flood, the small studio CDPR acquired in 2021. They've stated that by the end of next year, they aim to at least double the number of developers working on the project. Beyond that, we know very little about Project Sirius. But one project we know a little more about is the remake of The Witcher 1, and this one I'm super hyped about. To this day, I know very little about the story of The Witcher 1, and there are two main reasons for that. First, it's a game with extremely outdated gameplay, which was already bad at the time and is even worse today. That click to do whatever combat mechanic, I don't know what sense it made back then. And second, deep down in my heart, I always knew CD Projekt Red would remake The Witcher 1 someday. Deep down, I just knew. With all the hype that The Witcher has received over the past few years, it seemed almost inevitable. That's why I never played the game or watched any videos summarizing the story. It wouldn't have felt right to me. So honestly, I know almost nothing about it. Now, here's what we do know. The remake won't be developed by CD Projekt Red themselves, but by another Polish studio, Fool's Theory. Thankfully for us, the studio was founded by former developers who worked on The Witcher 1, The Witcher 2, and The Witcher 3. Like I said, that's a great sign for us. They've also mentioned they'll be making some changes to certain parts of the game that are outdated. The gameplay, like it's obvious, but also maybe with the story. These updates may help the game connect better with The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3, story-wise, which might make some people skeptical, but I trust the changes will be for the best. The game will use the same engine as The Witcher 4, the Unreal Engine 5, which is why it will be released after. Like CDPR said before, it will share some assets and elements between the two games. Unreal Engine 5 is the most popular engine right now. Just doesn't it feel like everything we've seen in it so far kinda looks the same? Maybe that's just a feeling I have, but I don't know. Moving on, one thing that excited me is that the remake will be a fully open world RPG, similar to The Witcher 3. The original Witcher 1 was more of a semi-open world game. Actually more open areas, rather than a full open world. Some areas were even impossible to return to. This shift makes me very happy, and I hope they take inspiration from The Witcher 3's side quests. And I hope also that they preserve the same heavy, darker atmosphere from The Witcher 1. I'm not sure if the entire game has this vibe, since like I said, I've never played it, but at least the part in Vizima is fantastic, and I can only imagine how it could look in the remake. In the near future, I'm planning to make a video about my wishlist for The Witcher 1 Remake, so let me know if that's something you'd like to see. Anyway, these are the 3 major projects from CD Projekt Red for the future of The Witcher. If I had to rank them based on my excitement, my list would look something like this. First place, The Witcher 1 Remake, second, The Witcher 4, and third, The Witcher Multiplayer. I just love Geralt too much. Let me know in the comments which game you're most excited about, and don't forget, if you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe. Don't feel obligated. Thank you all for watching.